Have you ever looked at a cow standing quietly in a field and wondered what's going on inside its head? Or watched a pig rooting around in the dirt and thought it seemed surprisingly clever? We often assume we know which animals are smart and which are not, but those assumptions are usually based on appearances rather than reality. Today, we're comparing two of the world's most familiar farm animals in a battle of brains: cows and pigs. Which one is actually smarter? The answer is more interesting than you might think right here on History of Simple Things. When people think of intelligent animals, they usually picture dolphins, chimpanzees, elephants, or perhaps dogs. Farm animals rarely make the list. Yet cows and pigs have spent thousands of years living alongside humans, and both possess abilities that often go unnoticed. The challenge is that animal intelligence is not as easy to measure as human intelligence. Animals solve different problems, live in different environments, and evolved different skills. A pig doesn't need to do what a cow does, and a cow doesn't need to do what a pig does. So before we declare a winner, it helps to understand what scientists mean when they talk about intelligence. Researchers often look at things like memory, problem solving, learning ability, social awareness, adaptability, and communication. An animal doesn't have to perform tricks or use tools to be considered intelligent. Sometimes intelligence is simply the ability to navigate a complex world successfully. Let's start with cows. Cows are often portrayed as slow, passive creatures. Because they spend much of their day grazing, they don't exactly look like deep thinkers. But appearances can be deceiving. Studies have shown that cows are capable of learning from experience and remembering information for long periods of time. They can recognize individual humans and distinguish between different people. In some experiments, cows were taught to solve simple puzzles to access food rewards, and they became visibly excited when they succeeded. Researchers have discovered that cows form friendships and prefer spending time with certain herd members. They also show signs of emotional awareness, making them far more socially complex than many people realize. Their memory is another strength. Cows can remember routes, locations, and social relationships for extended periods. This ability is useful in large herds, where recognizing friends and avoiding conflicts can make life easier. In many ways, cows possess the kind of intelligence needed for maintaining complex social lives. But now, let's look at pigs. Pigs have developed a reputation among scientists as some of the smartest animals on Earth. In fact, several studies suggest that pigs possess cognitive abilities comparable to those of dogs, and in certain tasks, even young children. That may sound surprising considering their reputation as farm animals, but researchers have repeatedly observed remarkable problem-solving skills in pigs. One famous experiment involved pigs learning how to manipulate a joystick to control a cursor on a screen. Even though their vision was not particularly suited for the task, some pigs successfully learned the concept and completed the challenge. That level of abstract learning is impressive for any animal. Pigs are also incredibly adaptable. They can quickly figure out how to open gates, find hidden food, and navigate unfamiliar environments. Many pig owners report that pigs learn routines rapidly and often remember them for years. Once a pig discovers how something works, it tends not to forget. Their social intelligence is equally fascinating. Pigs live in complex social groups and communicate using a wide range of vocalizations. Scientists have identified numerous sounds that pigs use to communicate different emotions and social situations. Perhaps even more remarkable is that pigs appear capable of a form of strategic thinking. In certain studies, pigs change their behavior depending on whether another pig was watching them. This suggests they may understand, at least to some extent, that other individuals possess their own perspectives and intentions. Another area where pigs excel is curiosity. Curiosity is often linked to intelligence because it encourages exploration and learning. Pigs are naturally inquisitive animals. They investigate objects, test boundaries, and constantly interact with their surroundings. This drive to explore gives them more opportunities to learn from experience. So how do cows compare? While cows certainly demonstrate intelligence, their strengths tend to be different. Cows are highly social and emotionally aware, but they are generally less exploratory than pigs. They are adapted for a lifestyle centered around grazing and herd cooperation, rather than active investigation. As a result, they may not perform as well in problem-solving experiments that reward curiosity and innovation. That doesn't mean cows are unintelligent. It simply means they evolve to prioritize different skills. A cow's success depends heavily on maintaining social relationships, recognizing threats, and navigating herd dynamics. Those abilities require intelligence, even if they don't always look impressive in a laboratory setting. This raises an important point about animal intelligence. Comparing species is not always fair because every animal evolved for a specific ecological role. Asking whether a pig is smarter than a cow can be a little like asking whether a swimmer is better than a runner. The answer depends on what task you're measuring. In terms of overall cognitive performance, problem-solving ability, adaptability, and learning speed, most scientists would likely give the advantage to pigs. They repeatedly demonstrate behaviors associated with higher intelligence and perform exceptionally well in cognitive research. However, that conclusion shouldn't diminish cows. Cows possess rich emotional lives, strong social bonds, impressive memories, and sophisticated social awareness. Their intelligence simply expresses itself in different ways. They may not solve puzzles as quickly as pigs, but they excel at navigating the social world of a herd. The truth is that both animals are far more intelligent than people once believed. For generations, farm animals were often viewed as simple creatures driven entirely by instinct. Modern research tells a different story. Cows and pigs can learn, remember, communicate, form relationships, and adapt to their environments in surprisingly complex ways. So, if the question is, who is smarter, a cow or a pig? The evidence points toward pigs taking the crown. Their problem-solving skills, curiosity, memory, and adaptability place them among the most intelligent domesticated animals in the world. But cows deserve far more credit than they usually receive. Behind those calm eyes is an animal capable of friendship, learning, and emotional depth. Perhaps the biggest lesson is that intelligence comes in many forms. The more we study animals, the more we discover that clever behavior appears in places we often overlook. Sometimes it's quietly grazing in a field, or rooting around in the mud. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.